visit, yes, the URL is not working here, but yeah. So I'm creating this new repo which we will use as an example, right? So if you visit the code inside it, it's basically like a sponsor site where like anyone can ask for donations from anyone using Stripe. Like the current site is using Stripe to power payments in fiat, but in this like workshop we will figure like how we can power Solana payments in a similar website, right? So yeah, I'm using Gitbot to make things easier and work in the same like browser, right? You obviously can use your own editors. Yeah. So we are creating the example chat here. Example repo here, which will have all the necessary like pre-template code base which we can use to just like add the CandyPay repos and power the payments in Solana, right? And obviously like everyone here knows Solana is like pretty cheap, fast, and like easiest way to power payments globally around the countries, right? Like unlike fiat, it's like to like it takes a lot of time, plus it's not really cheap. Then again, other blockchains like Ethereum are pretty slow, and like the gas fees are super high, but Solana is like pretty gas efficient and fast and amazing. So yeah, we will use Solana. I guess our repo is ready, as everyone can see here, right? I'm gonna just install the packages. Let's try to run that and see how it currently looks like. Alright, so as you can see, this is kind of like a donation page where like I can donate to my friend Avnish, right? I can select the amount in INR and do the sponsor, right? It won't work because currently it's utilizing Stripe and we need to provide the API keys and all, right? But the main goal of this workshop is to like see how we can power Solana payments in any website who is like already accepting fiat, right? So yeah, this one's not gonna work. Let me just refresh and see the current structure of the site. So this is the main page, and as you can see, like on clicking the button, it's actually using Stripe under the hood and creating the session and the payment link, but obviously we don't. Oops. Is there some issue on my end? Can you please mute the mic while T7? Anyway, we will keep on. Alright, yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. So as you can see, right, like basically this is a super simple like one-page site, right? And when we click the payment button, it actually uses the Stripe API call, as we can see here, right? Which uses Stripe to power the payments. But in this like in this workshop, we will see how we can power Solana payments using CandyPay, right? So first and foremost, I will just get my ENVs ready, right? So that's easier for.
Can you zoom in? I cannot see the text. Can you increase the font size?
I will create my ENVs.
Can you increase the font size? The text is very small. I cannot see. Can you increase the font size? The text is very small.
Oh yeah. Give me a second. Wait. How do we increase it? I forgot the command. Wait. Is it like much bigger now?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it's bigger.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So like to start with the like powering the CandyPay checkout, like first of all we will be creating the ENVs, right, to make sure we are all set. So I'm creating two ENVs here. Next public CandyPay public. All right, and again next public CandyPay private. So basically all these two ENVs denote like first key will be the CandyPay private API key, and the second will be CandyPay public API key. We will basically require two API keys, right? So as I said, like everyone would need to visit the CandyPay dashboard. I'm already like kind of logged in so I have the account. Everyone can just visit candypay.fun, create their own account. It will take like 5 minutes, not 5 minutes but 2 minutes max. So yeah, so once they are done, like we will be here in the dashboard, right, where we can generate the API keys, right? So oops, so as you can see, like there's a generate API key option which we can use to generate the API keys. I will click on the generate API button and we will get the API keys to use in the project. Yeah. Alright, so as you can see, like we are provided with two API keys. First is the public API key and the second is the private one, right? So I will simply copy and paste it in our env section as the env values, right? So yeah, I'm done. Everyone can take their time to like create the CandyPay account and like create these API keys, right? So please take your time, and this is the first and foremost important thing to get sorted with. So yeah, we are all good. Once this is done, we can kind of go back to our main site, right? Please, it should be all good. Alright, let me just remove that letter so we are kind of free here, right? So here's my repo again, right? I'm coming back to index and I'm gonna remove these. What shall we do? Yeah, key is equal to button key. Yeah, so let me just kind of key is equal to button key. I guess it's like too much clutter here, right? So instead we can remove all this completely and can like power simple button. Oops. All right. Yeah, so our styling is not really well, but yeah, that should kind of work. Give it a it's kind of getting better. I'm just like trying to make the button bigger so we can actually see how things working around, right? So I can give the padding X maybe 12 if that works. So yeah, it's getting better. I'm not really well at styling, I can assure you, so please never mind. Alright, yeah, this one should work, right? So yeah, we are ready with the demo button, right? Which we will use for the Solana payments, and the bottom button is already being used for fiat payments, right? So coming here, we will amount is being set in here. Got it. Yeah, so just like there's a function to create like Stripe checkout, we will, by the way, like visit our CandyPay docs, which has all the code ready for us to like just copy paste and get started, right? But anyway, I will just first of all download my CandyPay node SDK, right? This is like our node SDK, which like creates like takes in all the input fields and create the payment URL which the user can visit and the actual payment, right? So I'm gonna hit the server again. I believe it should be good. Yeah, everything seems well, right? So next up, like we are first of all like if like let's just like kind of review like what we have done here, right? So first of all, we visited the CandyPay dashboard, we created our API keys. Next up, we added all the API keys in our env section. Then we created a separate button which will be used for the Solana payments, while the earlier button is being used for fiat ones, right? Next up, we will download our CandyPay SDK. You can visit our docs. I'm linking this in the chat too. Alright, and you can visit our docs and download the Node SDK package, right? Once it's all done, next up, next up we will actually create the function in our, wait, let's first create the API, right? That would be better, I guess. Yeah. So in like we are using the next template. I hope like everyone knows basic like workaround for next and TS, right? In the pages API section, we will create a new file CandyPay.ts, right? And I'm kind of lazy, so I will just copy the whole function here. Wait, we can instead copy from the main side here. Yeah. All right, we have all like the boilerplate starter code which we can simply copy paste and get started with, right? So here, yeah, I guess we need to import some packages. Yep, we need to do that. We also need to create the CandyPay. Response. Wait a second. Let me response. Let's just end that. Alright. So yeah, here I have created another file for CandyPay API, right? First of all, here like I started like initialize the CandyPay SDK, and wait, I need to also kind of add my env names here, right? This is Alright, we will use DevNet here for testing purposes. We don't need to collect shipping address, right? And these all seems good to me. I will just format it a bit. Alright, yeah, this looks all good. Yeah. So just to give a rundown again, I've created a new file under the pages/API section where we have the CandyPay.ts file, right? Basically, this TS file is like simply a serverless function which is like powered by Next and Vercel. Obviously, we aren't using Vercel now, but yeah, this is a simple serverless function powered by the Next here, right? And what we have done here is first of all initialized our CandyPay SDK, right? I created this new instant const SDK is equal to new CandyPay, which we imported from the Node SDK. We passed our API keys, which we created in the envs earlier, right? We passed the API keys, we provided our network. We also have some configurations like whether I want to collect shipping address from my user or not, which I don't, so I will just leave it behind, right? And next up, we created a handler function which takes in request and response. So basically this function calls our CandyPay SDK and provides all the params, right? First of all, it takes, as you can see, like success URL, cancel URL, basically which are the URLs which user get redirected to where once the payment is successful or like he cancels the payment, right? I will keep the cancel one as the root server, right? Next up, we have tokens. Basically, this is like the field where we can configure like what are the tokens we want to power, right? We support multiple SPL tokens and Solana and USDC. These two tokens are passed by default, right? So yeah, we can add any token we would like to. I'm just gonna remove the dust here and use bomb because like that's more fun, right? Then again, we have the items field here, which is basically the details of the product which we are actually charging for, right? So here we have named the product shades. The price is $0.1. The price is in USDC. We have provided an image, quantity 1, size 9. I'm going to remove the size for now, right? Yeah, this all looks good. And since we are using it for donations, right? So I'm just gonna do donate to which is like the person who created this base repo, right? And we're gonna pay him 0.1 USDC, which will be 10 cents, right? This is the image, quantity is 1. Yeah, this all looks good to me. And obviously you don't actually need to learn these all codes. You can just visit our CandyPay docs and like copy paste all these like small boilerplates code which you can further reproduce and use. Yeah, so this looks good to me, which basically, and lastly, this function will get called whenever we will call the API, and which will redirect us to the which will provide us with this response JSON file, sorry, JSON object, right? So yeah, so back to the index file. Here we have created this button which we will gonna call, and this button on call will create the call the this new CandyPay API, which will then like redirect us to the payment page. So yeah, this is the whole flow. Maybe I can share like how it works here, right? So if you see the image here in our docs, basically on, yeah, I hope it's coming here, right? So basically when we clicks on the will click on the payment button, right? The serverless API will be called, and it will call the create session function, right? As you can see in here, here's the create session function, which will then return the checkout session, right? As you can see, we response the object which has the payment URL, which is the actual checkout, right? And so yeah, that's once that done, like customer will be redirected to the actual payment page, right, where they can visit the CandyPay checkout. They will do the payment and they will get redirected to the success URL which we have passed here. So this is like a simple and very easy like flow of how things are working here, right? So yeah, let's get back here. All right, yeah, on the main page I will create a let's create a function here, right? I can use the boilerplate code maybe. We have already created the success and payment pages, so I'm on good here. I will just like visit the last section of this page where we need to like create the payment button. We are done with the button, so let's create this simple function, right? So just like we have this function which is using Stripe for power bill payment, so we'll create our own function which wait, I need to update this constant. All right, yeah. So wait, let me change the name. Create Candy session. Our API name is CandyPay. This looks good. All right, yeah, everything looks good here, right? So let me just add the function on the on click button, so I can finally explain how things are working. All right. All right, yeah, everything looks good. So basically what we did is like created this button which is like pay, wait, let me change the name, pay in Sol, right? We created this pay in Sol button which like lets user pay in Solana, right? Then we have like this on click function which does the create CandyPay session, right? So this is like pretty simple and easy function. What it does is like calls our serverless API in under the pages/API/CandyPay.ts file, right? It does the API call, and our API takes in all these params and responds with the response object, right? Once we get the object, we import it as data here, right? Sorry, we like process it as data, and our router dot push like this object basically redirects user to the payment page, right? So before actually redirecting, I just want to show like what are the data with our link and how the fields actually come in here, right? So I'm gonna console login the response. Yeah, this looks and we will console log the data here just to like figure how things are currently looking like, right, before actually redirecting the user. And then we will work on how like we can make things dynamic, right? Currently it's obviously static because all the data is like kind of hard coded here. So yeah, yeah, everything looks good. Let us, oops, wait, we also need to add the static URL here in the code, right? So for now I'm just gonna hard code my actual the git part URL, right? Awesome. So everything looks good. We can do the first test here. I'm gonna run the server just in case. All right. So I'm gonna open our console log so we can actually see what gets returned here, right? Because we have implemented our console log here as you can see, right? So yeah, let's do the API call. I clicked on pay in soul, and here we are, like super fast. We got the response from CandyPay, and as you can see, but it check. Wait, let me just, yeah. If you guys can see, like the basically what we did was like clicked on this button which actually called our serverless API, right? Under the hood serverless API did the API call to CandyPay create session function in our SDK amount $0.1 which and cents, right? And the API returned a JSON object, right, which we have console logged, and as you can see the data here returns message session is created successfully with its author ID, session ID, and the actual payment URL. And as you can see, the payment URL is the like actual URL which your users can visit and do the payment, right? So we can see the JSON object clearly, and now instead of like console logging it, I will use my router function which we have imported from the next library, right? We'll format the document, and we have simply like did a router.push data.payment URL, which is like the as you can see the actual URL which user needs to visit and do the payment, right? So yeah, this looks good. Let's try the SDK again. I'm gonna close the console here. Yeah, let's try the pay in Solus function, and as you can see, like we are on the CandyPay payment page, and I'm getting asked to like connect my wallet and do the payment, right? So by the way, on like if you might have seen, we passed multiple tokens, but we are only able to see Sol in USDC. That's because on DevNet we don't support any other token besides these two. So maybe I'm gonna make it mainnet. So and increase the amount. Decrease the amount a bit more, right? Just to use it for the testing purposes. Let me just confirm my wallet as the required. Alright, yeah, it does. Yeah, perfect. So let's create a new session again. I'm just gonna cancel this one, and here we are. We'll do the page soul again. Alright, and now as you can see, it's not a DevNet session but the mainnet session, right? And we have the all the details like my this is my actual like CandyPay details here, right? Then the product which we are using it for, I need to provide my email, and I will connect my wallet to do the payment. Alright, I connected my wallet, and now I can choose, like your end user can choose any token they wanna pay with, right? So as you can see, by the way, like you have, just to inform everyone, like CandyPay supports multiple SPL token, but we have this feature of auto swapping powered by Jupiter Exchange, where like the merchant will receive USDC only, while we the end users can pay in any of these tokens, which helps like maintaining price speculation, keeping merchant safe from price speculation. Yeah, so I'm gonna select Sol for now, do the transaction. I guess it should take a while. Yeah, here we are. As I can see, if you see that view detail, we are using Jupyter under the hood to power swap transactions, and we will approve the transaction, and it should be done in super easily. And once the payment is done, we can see thank you for sponsoring me, right? So that's the basic flow. Now we can maybe like make it dynamic, but I believe that would be kind of boring here, right? So yeah, we can do it dynamic too. Let me just, we have this amount field here, right, like already available. So I'm gonna pass it in our ENVs, right? Wait. I guess we need to pass it in bodies, right? Yeah, let's leave it for now, else it will get a bit too boring, right? We can pass the amount here dynamically in our create session function, which will be passed in here, so things can get dynamic and it will work, right? But yeah, let's keep it static for now to like don't make things much more boring, right? So yeah, this is the whole flow. If anyone has any questions, please like let me know and I would love to answer them. Yeah.
Can you name some application of CandyPay SDK? What can we build using your SDK?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah.
I wasn't able to hear it well.
Yeah. So my question is like, what is the kind of application that we can use CandyPay to build? Like other than build, we can build e-commerce store, right? But what else? What else can we build on CandyPay SDK?
Yeah, so you're asking for like some examples we can implement the CandyPay SDK, if I'm not wrong, like, right? So basically, like as you can see, like we have provided the list of like examples we can one can use the CandyPay SDK, right? So for example, this is like a gate-link application where like anyone can build a kind of token gated Gumroad where like the user first needs to do a payment, then only they would be able to see anything, right? Like it can be a link, it can be a video, it can be an image, right? So this is some like a really amazing product one can build of CandyPay by using that checkout here, right? Then again we have GoFundMe on Solana where like anyone can create a fundraising application, and we kind of built the same thing here, right? Like as in our application here. We build kind of same thing where like users can kind of ask for donations, right? Anyone can build a better version on top of this basic example. Then we have this e-com platform where like anyone can create their kind of like say delivery app for can be anything, right? Like it can be food, it can be say physical items, and power NFTs for royalties and payments. For Solana payments, they can use CandyPay to power like Solana and USDC checkout, right? Then this is another cool project, AI Avatar. Basically anyone can use chat GPT APIs and like all the GPT APIs and all the apps coming in here, and basically create a website. As here's an example where like I can like basically provide my images, and my kind of cool avatars will be created, and instead of paying the amount in fiat, I can use CandyPay checkout to power the payments here, right? So this is another super cool project which people can build on top of CandyPay. And then again NFT ticketing platform, which is like pretty simple idea. Instead of like having the tickets as some email garbage like a spam email, people can build them as NFTs to make it more easier to like use, and then easier to manage and all, right? And obviously for the payments, they can use the CandyPay checkout to actually have the user pay them, and once the payment is done, they can use CandyPay webhooks to actually airdrop them the ticketing NFT and make things all simpler. These are a few like ideas which people can build on top of CandyPay, and obviously like it's pretty like composable. Anyone can kind of build anything on top of Solana and CandyPay, powering just like replacing current payment stack, which is like people are mostly using fiat. So instead they can use CandyPay to also power crypto payments along the way. Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. So I wonder where you store the information of the payment. Because in the previous transaction, I buy something on CandyPay, right? So where the information of the payment they store on blockchain or they store on CandyPay server?
Yeah, so once the payment is done, right, like as I did the payment here, right, so basically I can visit the CandyPay dashboard. Let me just kind of uh, zoom in, right. So as you can see, today is 27 April 5 p.m. at my place in India, right. So once the payment is done, I will be able to see it on CandyPay dashboard right here, right. As you can see, like we had this donate to Avnish thing, which we paid 0.1, basically 1 cents for. And obviously, like this is an on-chain transaction, so we can also see the signature here, right. If I go to the signature and view, I can actually see the transaction, like the whole details here. And as I was sharing, wait, let it load. And as I was sharing here, right, like CandyPay powers swap transactions. So so as you can see, like the sender paid in Solana tokens, but we swapped it in the same transaction, and the merchant finally received USDC. So this is like the whole flow where we power swap transactions. Yeah. And obviously this is an on-chain transaction, so we can see the transaction on any kind of block explorer, plus the CandyPay dashboard with all the details. And not only this CandyPay SDK, we also power no-code pay links. As you can see in the pay link section, we power these no-code pay links where like you don't actually need to even use our SDKs, and just like visit the payment page, provide your details. Let me just say super. Yeah, one shot. This is the SDK link. I'm gonna add image too. Yeah, this one looks cool. I can select any tokens I wanna pay with. I'm gonna use these 3 4s. Yeah, let's just use everything, right? That would be kinda cool. Yeah, these 4 seems cool, right? We can enter the price as it was here, or maybe make it user defined price, so like users can pay their own price. Let's do it that only. We can also power custom feeds, shipping address, which we won't gonna use right now. And we can create the pay links in a completely no code way. We don't even actually need to know any kind of coding, right? So this is another way users can accept crypto payments with CandyPay. And as you can see, I'm ready with my pay link. I can just copy from the dashboard and share to anyone, right? Yeah, multiple tokens I can use through. I can let me just enter amount and email address, and let's select a token. This Solana is like good for me because my wallet has that token only right now for testing purpose, right? And let me pay through it, right? And obviously it will take super easy, and we are done, right? And we can see the transactions coming through, trying out CandyPay, sharing it on Twitter, and like once refreshing, we can again use, like this is like kind of like permanent no code pay links, which if you don't know how to code, you can simply use that. Or maybe if you know how to code and wanna save some time, you can simply create this permanent link and add it on your websites, like any sort of mobile apps, websites, whatever, and users can just visit and do the payment. So this is another easy way to power payments on CandyPay. And lastly, by the way, we also power webhooks. So like users can create multiple experiences, say NFT airdropping after a payment is done, SPL token airdropping after a payment is done, and any and all sort of these experiences using our webhooks. For more details around webhooks, you can visit our docs. I'm gonna link to our docs here, right? We can visit the webbook section to have more details on how you can power these custom experiences using our webhooks. Yeah. Any other questions or queries? Would love to help.
What about if I if a CandyPay transaction is done, can I trigger some like Web3 action? Can I invoke some program or something?
I can't hear you. Maybe can you
Uh,
type in the
yes. Yeah. So my question is it possible to invoke some action on Solana after the CandyPay transaction is done? For example, when you someone paid in CandyPay and then a program will be invoked and send some NFT to someone. Is it possible?
yeah, basically that can be done with the CandyPay webhooks, right? So we can't actually do it natively. That can be done through our in-app components, but that's like another that would take another kind of workshop to explain, right? But as I was sharing, right, like to say like my transaction is completed and I wanna power a custom experience. For example, I wanna invoke my custom program and like do a transaction there. Or let's say you are building a escrow program where like you wanna actually accept the payments and store the actual payment in an escrow contract and maybe release it to the user once they complete a certain task, right? Say you are building a talent marketplace where like you asking users to like businesses to like, if you want to create a bounty, you can if say any like you are creating a talent marketplace, right, for example, and you are asking businesses to like, yeah, you can create your custom bounties, right? So you would need to ask them to like provide the money in the escrow contract, and like when they the bounty hunters completes the payment, they can simply get the money, right? So this way you would need to require to use a escrow contract, right, which we don't power natively. So what you can do is like accept the payments in your wallet which is associated with CandyPay, right? Wait, here's the dashboard. So basically you can accept the payments in your CandyPay wallet associated in your dashboard. I'm just this one, right? And once the payment is credited in your dashboard, we support webhooks, right? So basically anyone can create a custom like simple webhooks program, right, and verify the webhooks. Once the webhooks are done, they can simply write a function which basically transfer the required amount, say $20 or $1,000 USDC to the escrow contract, right? And with the webhooks, the amount will get transferred to the escrow contract. And once the end user, the bounty hunter, actually completes the transaction, you can release the funds to completes his work. You can basically release the funds to him in through that escrow contract, right? So like that's the whole flow for powering any sort of like any and all custom experiences. You can use our webhooks here, which is like super easy to implement, and we provide you with like almost all details of the actual payment, right? Like as you can see, the customer's public key, customer's email address, then items they purchased, the metadata associated with transactions, the network, order ID, amount, and like any and all things, right? So yeah, with webhooks all these custom experiences can be powered.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
Just give me a second. All right, sorry for the in between, but anyway, any other questions anyone have, like how what are they building, anything CandyPay can help with? Anything else, like anything we can provide more details for or like help with?
Tuấn, do you have any question from this room? We have no more question. We're all clear. Tuấn.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I like the workshop. Yeah, you show me how to bring a traditional website with traditional payment, and we embed the CandyPay solution very easy, like 30 minutes setting. So yeah, very cool. And I think this is the very good ideas to crypto adoption for many website or something like that. So yeah, after workshop, I like to working with the CandyPay team to bring more ideas to Bounty that super team Vietnam member can uh, brainstorming and yeah submit some product based on CandyPay. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds exciting. Yeah, please let us know like if anyone has any like issues or like need help working with CandyPay. Either they can join our server or like we are happy to help in the Super D Vietnam server itself. Just give us and like me, Mukesh, and Rag, any of us ping, and like we will help you sort things up. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much to Anne for this opportunity, and we love the like powering the workshop, and are super excited to see what super team members like build on CandyPay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the workshop.
Awesome. Thank you guys. So we'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye.
Bye bye.